Okay, today on the channel we're going to take our Summit equipment fishing shuttle that we built for our Echo Map. We did an unboxing on that video, so you can take a look at that and see what's all involved with the shuttle. And what we're going to do today is we're going to install a 93 SV Echo Map with a GT8 ice fishing transducer from Garmin, our Amped Outdoors battery, and we're going to power that all up and get that set up so that we can put it in the shuttle and use it for ice fishing. So let's take a look at everything we're going to need to make this happen. All right, so obviously the first thing you're going to need is your Garmin head unit. This happens to be a 93 SV. Keep in mind that this installation that we're doing will work for a 73 SV as well. So the next thing obviously is our Summit fishing shuttle, and this again is the large size, and this will fit our 93. And we've assembled that. We've got that ready to go. Included with the Summit fishing shuttle is a master switch, so we're going to go ahead and install that and make a couple of modifications to that, and we'll go through that during the install. We need a good lithium battery. It's an Amped Outdoors 32 amp hour. That particular battery is a little bit of overkill for this situation because we don't have our live scope hooked up yet, but when we do have our live scope hooked up, this battery will run the 9-inch screen and the live scope for well over 13 hours. And then we've got a pair of wire crimpers here because we've got to make a few modifications to the switch and to the power wire from Garmin, and we'll go through those in a sec. I've got a couple of the piggyback connectors. You've seen me use these before if you've watched my videos, and what they allow you to do is hook up to the battery, and then we can hook up another power cord to it. And in this case, everything in the shuttle, the SV, the live scope and everything would be hooked directly to the battery, and then what we're going to use these spade connectors for is when we charge the battery, that's where we'll hook our battery charger. You will also need a Garmin power cord to power your unit and hook up to the battery, so we have that here. Again, we're going to make a couple of modifications to that we'll go through. We've got our GT8 Garmin ice transducer, and that comes with a float so that when I put that into the hole, that floats and keeps the transducer suspended at a certain depth, and you adjust this depending on the thickness of the ice, but that's what that's for if you're not into ice fishing and understand that. And then the other thing that you have to get when you hook up a GT8 to a 93 SV, and I'm pretty sure on a 73 SV as well, is you need to get a 12-pin to 4-pin transducer adapter cable, and that's what this piece is. And that's just a simple plug-and-play piece, and we'll do that when we hook up the transducer. That's everything we need to get this set up so that we can go ice fishing with it. So let's go ahead and start wiring everything. We're going to go ahead and take the switch that's supplied to us from Summit, and we're going to install that in the carrier, and you can see the hole right up here, and that's a snap fit. And all we're going to do is put that switch in, and I'm going to make sure that the straight line is up because that'll be on. So we'll go ahead and put that into the shuttle. And that's pretty simple. We just feed the wires through the front of the shuttle, pull those through, and again I want to line that up so that the line is up. So I'm just going to put that in there. And they have this set to fit this, and we're just going to press gently, and that'll snap in there. And you want to just push gentle, push all the way around, and you'll feel it kind of snap, and now that's in place. And if you have to, you can pull it from the back a little bit. And now we have our switch in place, our master switch, and we're in the back. So one of the first modifications that we had to make is that the power cord from Summit came with a really small bladed fixture on here piece. So we got the larger one to fit on our battery because it has to fit on this spade right here. So we put a larger connector on there. So that was I just cut the other one off, and then what I did is I crimped it on, and we're going to do the negative, and I'll show you how that works. So with the negative wire, we're going to take our Garmin power cord, and we're going to take our negative from the Summit switch, so you can see that right here, and these are going to go to the negative on the battery. So we're going to take one of our little spade connectors that I showed you, and because we're putting 2 wires in here, we're going to use the blue because that's for a little bit bigger wire. We're going to carefully feed those in there, press that in, and then we're going to take our crimper, real simple. It's blue, so we're going to use the blue on our crimper, come up by the shoulder of the connector, and we're just going to give that a good squeeze. And that'll clamp that down on that negative. So now we have our negative hooked up for the Garmin power cord and for the switch. So the next modification we had to make is the Garmin power cord just comes bare. So what I did is I put a female connector on that will connect with the switch. So that's on our positive, and that's going to go up here on the bottom post of the switch. When you put your switch in the way that I showed you, the top is the negative, the middle one goes directly to the battery, and the bottom is the switched power. So when we turn this switch on, it sends power through this wire. That's what's going to go to our Garmin power cord. So now we're going to go ahead and press that on the bottom of the switch. So now we have our positive for our Garmin on the bottom post. We've got the negative on top, hooked with the negative of the Garmin cord, so you can see how that works. And then the center one is just going to go straight to the battery. So we've got that. So now let's go ahead and we'll drop our battery into the shuttle, and we'll feed these wires. And just take your time and be patient. There's a lot of wire here for a shuttle because Garmin gives you enough wire to put this in your boat. So just bring your negative down. I'm going to bring it through the bottom of the shuttle. Bring your negative and your positive that we put together, and let's just feed that down through the bottom of the shuttle, and we'll hook the negative up. I'm not going to hook stuff up right now because I want to hook it into get the locator hooked up first, but we'll go ahead and put the negative on. You can do that. That won't hurt anything. It's not going to power without both. So just slide that connector on there, and now we have the negative on, and we have our power cord in the back for the Garmin is ready to go into the back of our head unit. The next thing let's do is let's take this transducer adapter, and again, this is a 4-pin to a 12-pin adapter. If you're looking for this online, we'll put the links, but make sure you don't get the 4-pin to 8-pin. You need the 4-pin, which is this end, to a 12-pin. So we're going to go ahead. It does have a flat side to it right here, so it is directional. So just make sure that you line that up, and that's just going to press in real easy, and you can hear that snap. Now we've got that adapter in. So now we can take our transducer and we'll just sit that around the back as well. And now let's go ahead and get our head unit, and I'm just going to lay that up here because we've got plenty of cord to reach. So I'm going to take my power cable, and the unit's going to sit right here, and as you're facing the shuttle, the power for the Garmin is going to be on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the power cord through there, and I'm going to take the transducer as you're facing the unit in the left. So we'll use that hole for the transducer cable, and then we'll go ahead and hook those into the unit. And again, so don't force them. Make sure you line that up with your unit so that everything has the correct pin connection. So we'll go ahead and drop that in, and we'll screw this down. And then we'll take our transducer, and this has 12 pins, so you want to make sure that you line that notch up really well here so that you don't mess up the pins on your transducer. And again, just kind of feel it and it'll slide in. Okay, we're going to take this up. We'll feed the wires back through the back of the shuttle, and we'll go ahead and put the unit on our cradle. And we have our power connection hooked up to the back of the Garmin. So at this point, it's safe to go ahead and take this positive power wire that we have, and we'll hook that over here. And we'll go ahead and drop our battery back in. And again, these little piggyback connectors, this is where you can hook your battery charger. All the different chargers come with various connections. And I'll grab mine and I'll show you what mine looks like. This happens to be how mine connects. This is off of another unit that goes straight to the battery, so you'll see that they already have the piggyback, but just for explanation's sake, let's not see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the charger for this battery connection, and I'm just going to go ahead and put those right here. And now everything's permanent. So I've got everything power in my unit, but then I also have the connection for my battery charger hooked up to my battery, and that can just stay in the shuttle all the time. And then I have some wire ties for the back. You can see it's a bit of a mess. There's plenty of room in the shuttle. Get these all gathered up, and they will tuck in. They'll tuck in right down next to your battery in the back of the shuttle. So we'll just put that down there. I'll do some wire tying on that. Our transducer, you can take some of your extra cable for that, wrap it around the top of the shuttle. We'll leave about that much out. And we'll just take this for right now, and we'll just set that right there. Okay? We'll grab our bag for our shuttle. So we've got that in there. Let's grab our transducer back out of here that we just tucked in here for temporary. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our transducer and we're going to slip him through this little slot right here. So he's just going to go through this slot, come out the back of the unit right there. We'll set him aside again, and then we can Velcro this flap down. And now your transducer cable just comes out the side, and we can throw our transducer right in here. And that's where it'll ride when we're out on the ice. So let's go ahead and zip this up. Okay guys, so we've got that all wired up. We got our battery in, we got our transducer installed, and this is what the finished product looks like when it's all packed up. And let's just do a real quick unveiling here. So when you get out on the ice, we're just going to zip this back about halfway. We'll Velcro this back. I'm going to hold it back just for the sake of the video. And you'll want to adjust this a little bit when you get out there. But let's do that so you guys can see it in the video. First thing we're going to do is reach over here where we put our main power. We're going to flip that switch. That'll come on blue to tell us the main power is on. And then we'll go ahead and hit our unit. We'll have to set up the transducer. But we've got our unit on. We can reach in the back, take our transducer, drop it down the hole, and start catching some fish fries. So guys, that's the Summit Equipment Fishing Shuttle with a 93 SV installed. Thanks for watching. Good luck out on the ice.